Obviously, you've all taken time off from your families to come over here, and I really, really appreciate that. But as we've done before, because most of you have been with us in the last committee, and I'm just very, very glad that because we need, I believe, the help. We need, and I've been working over the last 6-7 months now. There is so much of the participation of people who understand what this is all about. So I've asked you to join us, and I'm going to put before you a very small presentation, and then we'll break away into groups, and I think that will be important for us to discuss those issues. Come back later on in the afternoon with some kind of working plan. So here's the vision statement. This is what we would like Rajasthan to be. A happy, healthy, educated, gender-sensitive, prosperous, well-developed state. Which Chief Minister would want that? Shall we go to the next? Our approach, and right at the top I put, is the happiness index. These are the 3 pillars on either side. The 3 pillars are of infrastructure on one side. Next please. Some issues which I'd like to flag, which are areas of concern for Rajasthan, mostly up there. Then of course there are gender disparities, that even after 67 years of independence, the gender disparities are extremely stark, as you can see. In most of the human development indices, we are ranked below the national average and compare poorly with top ranking states. We need to be able to change this situation. Next please. We're looking out for economic well-being, but to catch up, economic and social indicators here reflect the fact that the state is actually performing much below its potential. And we need to catch up. We need to catch up faster than the rest of the country. For that, we need to grow at a higher rate than the national average. The poor economic infrastructure is caused by, and it is also a cause of poor development. Next please. If we look at the level of infrastructure, we try to target the 12th five-year plan of the state and envisages 7.7% growth. But we believe this is not sufficient for the prosperity of all. What we need is to target it at 12% annual growth. We have to make manufacturing and the tourism sector the engines of growth in the state. And we have a huge potential and a very natural advantage in this area. Next please. More areas of concern. If you're looking at water, there are a total number of 243 blocks in the state. You need to see that because Rajasthan is India's most water-scarce state, we have 10% of the country but only 1% of water. The extraction is hugely critical, as you can see, 243 blocks, 172, where the extraction is more than the recharge. In the others, 44 blocks, where the extraction is between 70 to 100% of the recharge, and 2 blocks are completely saline. The frequency of the water supply in urban areas is also an area of concern. Please go back. There's also an area of concern if you look. There are 132 towns out of the state's 222 towns which are receiving water once in 24 hours, and the rest are receiving water at intervals of more than 24 hours. Next please. The rural water supply is no better. Out of 1,21,133 habitations, only 69,000 are fully covered and 28,000 are partially covered. The state is also having the additional issue of fluoride and salinity. These really have to be attended to because more and more blocks and more water is tending to go this way. 23,841 habitations are quality affected, 6,000, almost 7,000 are fluoride affected, and 15,500 are affected by salinity. Next, please. So here's what we are going to try to do with this, and we're working on just now. The first one is a new concept. It's the four waters concept of a gentleman by the name of Mr. Hanuman Rao, who's worked very, very well in Andhra Pradesh. And they've had considerable success over there. So we're doing a pilot project with them on what is called the four water concept. This is using rainwater, surface water, groundwater, and soil moisture. Basically, trying to harness rainwater to improve the surface water flow and storage so that we can recharge groundwater. Also linking the basins together within Rajasthan itself, so that we can transfer the water from the surplus to the deficit basins. Basically, we're also trying to work for a surface water grid for drinking water, which will overlay this. Go next to energy. Now, in the distribution sector, it would be almost impossible to imagine a worse situation. In the last 5 years, the accumulated losses have gone through the roof. And we are suffering a debt of something like 75,000 crores, which has gone up from 15,000 crores. Why are transmission charges in Gujarat lower than Rajasthan, even though Gujarat's handling capacity is twice that of Rajasthan's? T&D losses are still a matter of concern. I mean, we're looking at something like 30% at present, and we are suffering from a shortage of fuel for our power plants. Next, please. Now looking at development of solar parks, the western part of the states actually enjoy the highest number of cloud-free days in the country. The incoming solar radiation is comparable to the deserts of Africa, Middle East and North America. So for us, this could be a game changer. And our aim is to go to 25,000 megawatts as far as solar power generation is concerned. We're looking at solar farms. We're intending to encourage rooftop solar power generation and infrastructure support for evacuation of power using green energy transmission grids. Bringing in PPP and distribution franchise models in distribution. And we are wanting to aim at adding another 6,500 years. The electricity. But we need to bring in technological interventions in terms of things like cables and tamper-proof transmitters and that kind of thing, which will have to be done side by side quickly. 40,000 new connections, 4 lakh household connections in rural areas every year. And to achieve a financial turnaround, really very strict monitoring of the financial recovery plan. Public-private partnership in all the facets, that is generation, transmission and distribution, is what we are encouraging. Go to roads. We have a total network of over 195,000 kilometers as of March 2014 and a road density per lakh population of 285 kilometers. The village connectivity in the state, based on the census of 2001, for village populations above 250 is 94% and for population below 250 is 34%. Connectivity of population 500 and above, based on the census of 2001, is almost 100%. And most of the villages have been connected under the PMGSY, so Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. Next, the state government, we've taken up a very, very ambitious program for the development of something like 20,000 kilometers of highway during the next 5 years. The development of these 20,000 kilometers have been targeted to be taken up on a PPP mode. The investment of 70,000 crores has been estimated with a contribution of 20,000 crores from the state government, up up to 20% in the form of VGF from the Government of India and the remaining from the private partner. During 2003-08, we developed the North-South Corridor, which was about just a little over 1,000 kilometers. And this time, to complement this earlier mega highway structure, we are planning to develop the East-West Corridor of 2,000 kilometers with an estimated cost of some 5,000 crores. Now, here, for maintenance of something like 1 lakh kilometers of the remaining road length, we're using something called the output and performance-based road contracts. In the budget of 2014-15, we have announced the development of Grameen border paths, which are going to cost about 1,800 crores. Small roads with drainages in 9,177 panchayats, and in the next 3 years. We believe this is very important because the villages also have to be given that kind of impetus. And while we do these roads in cities, there's always this difference between the city and the village. It's very important that we do something like this to allow them to feel that they are part of what we're doing. In 2014 and 15, we have announced the development of these, plus the work on the Road Safety Action Plan, which has also been started. We believe this is also very important for the state. And we go to the urban development sector. The housing area is one of very major concern for us in the urban area. Our estimated shortage of houses till 2017 is about 10 lakhs. The state therefore needs a self-propelling policy to encourage constructions of the EWSs and the LIG houses, as also the low-cost MIG houses in all the urban bodies. Then solid waste disposal in the big cities is a huge challenge. So far, we do not have any successful case of waste to energy in the state. Along with solid waste disposal, there are challenges in the treatment of sewage and utilization of treated water in major cities. The challenges of creation of the sewage network or drainage system, and even now, we are not fully covered in the state on this. And of course, there's parking, which is a huge problem, and mass transport, where we believe there is insufficient space and maybe not so good an infrastructure. The state government is proposing to bring up the following new legislations. Apart from these four, the Rajasthan Town Planning Urban Apartment Ownership Bill, the Urban Land Certification Title Bill, Heritage Conservation, General Unified Metropolitan Authority Bill, we have other problems too. Slums in the major cities, no proper development in the past few years. The slum development policy has remained by and large a non-starter. So that's another area that we really need to look at. Provision of clean drinking water and sanitation is lacking in most cities. Apart from solid waste management, there are other areas which need attention. And these are management and disposal of plastic waste, disposal of biodegradable waste, and recycling of untreated wastewater and industrial wastewater. There is a need for human resource development in local bodies to face these challenges in an effective manner. I don't think we have that kind of manpower. We need to be able to get more. We really have no expertise in these areas, and we're looking to you for ideas to take us further. Industries. Every new investment really requires skilled manpower, and the existing manpower needs training from time to time because of the change in technology. As is the lack of appropriate technology, we need to reach this to all manufacturers. Water is a hugely limited factor, and we're forced to look at actually less water-intensive industries. Power is an essential prerequisite, and if our plans fall into place, adequate power will not be a problem in time to come. Next, please. I'm adding to this the dairy sector. Rajasthan has the largest livestock population in the country. It also supplements the income of farming communities in the rural area, and so we have considered it also as a first area. But the above is only indicative, what you see there. We would welcome ideas on how to go about this. I'd like to flag here the Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor. This is going to be another game changer for Rajasthan because, as per the duly approved alignment, nearly 39% of the area of this corridor falls within Rajasthan. Then, we have something called Startup Oasis. It is an incubation center to promote entrepreneurship. It's been done jointly by RICO and the Center for Innovation, Incubation and Entrepreneurship Initiatives. They've taken up this in approximately 18 startup companies, new companies. And RICO has provided the infrastructure support as well as financial assistance. The financial assistance to this center is coming from IIM Ahmedabad and RICO. IIM is also doing the hand holding for these industries. We go to tourism. It's all there. As you know, everyone knows Rajasthan is one of the premier states as far as tourism is concerned. So I don't have to flag all those issues with you. But even though we have managed basic tourism infrastructure facilities at most of the tourist places, we still lack world-class amenities at major sites, and that, of course, is the most important thing, because it goes out by word of mouth. If you cannot be connected properly by air, first of all, we lose a huge advantage. And I can't believe that we are actually not properly connected. Then, of course, there will be competition from other states who also understood that tourism is good for them, and therefore an aggressive marketing strategy is required. You will be surprised, next. You will be surprised to see that three major cities of the state, Jaipur, Jodhpur and Udaipur, are not connected by air. They used to be connected by air 5 years ago, but in the last 5 years, there are no flights. So if anyone is wanting to reach any of these, from Bombay, you can go there, from Delhi maybe you can go there, but you can't go travel within the state, which is really strange. We're also introducing new events like the Holi Festival at Teak in Bharatpur, the Bhakti Festival at Pushkar and where want to revive celebrations like Rajasthan Day, which have really taken off and done well, but got cancelled in the last 5 years. And also the music in the park, which was very popular. I want to bring that back, and the Vijayadashmi celebrations. Alongside all of this, we want to pick up 5 or 8 villages that would like to showcase their crafts or good in embroidery or pottery or any one of these things. We would want to pick them up, put them onto the circuit as part of village tourism and showcase their special skills. I think this is important. Even if we manage to do 4 or 5 in the beginning, I believe that it would take off. I would also want to provide staying accommodations within those villages. So encourage what they call homestays as we do in the urban areas. It could also be encouraged in the same way in the rural areas. This is what we're looking at. We'll look at education. For any state to progress, quality education has to be a given. And this area, the government institutions, has always been an area of great concern to all of us. If you look at that, you will see. I think that, we put there single teacher schools, but when we look at, we even have something called 0 children's schools. Just 140, I know how those survive. How do you have a 0 children's school? 142 of them. With teachers and everything else for children. So, it's really, really an area of concern for all of us. The next, please. You point in the school agenda, taking education to the people or vice versa. Any children living away from, let's say 2 to 5 kilometers away from the schools, we thought of providing them transport vouchers so that they can either come together and organize the transport for themselves, or they can get onto a bus or join others to go to the school. But that should not be a reason for why they don't go to school. But here we need to add so much more value, and I believe that in that sense, the discussions on this particular agenda item would be very useful to us. Next, please. Livelihood status, by the way, is one of the most important things for us, because there is an anger among the people because of unemployment, and that is not just the state of Rajasthan, it's happening everywhere. It's happening across the country, and everyone's understood this. I'm happy to say that we were the ones who actually brought skill development. Rajasthan Mission on Livelihood was the first thing that we came up with in the 2003-2008 period. And we were happy to see that it got picked up at the national level under this National Skill Development Mission, which was a good thing and progress. We, of course, have also done good work in this area. The demographic dividend of having 34% of the population in the age group of 18 to 39. This is offset by very low levels of skill, 5%. So while we're saying that we want to encourage investment to come in, we want actually also to develop skill-wise and education-wise our kids so that they're able to stand on their own feet, and when you set up your industry, they don't have to, you don't have to go and look for people outside. We would like to have them ready and waiting to be assimilated in those investments that get set up in the state. The elasticity of job creation in the manufacturing sector has actually gone negative. It is growing at 6.8% in the initial years of the 11th plan, but declined to minus 0.76% last year. Simultaneously, the contribution of manufacturing to overall job creation has also gone down drastically. This is indicative of capital intensity, mainly due to adverse labor laws, and also due to skill deficit in the country. To revive all this, we have actually gone to labor law reform so that there is an ease of doing business and that it can be enhanced. So, ITIs have long been neglected by us. So this is an area of we think we need to strengthen. The skill base has to be made strong and relevant. We need more game changers, collaborators, and go-getters in the skill area. And so this is an area also that needs to be worked upon. ITIs don't teach agri skills. Krishi Vigyan Kendras that are set up in most states are very limited in scope and do not have a great delivery system. So what we're saying is, since the industry training centers are creating skills for industry, why not agriculture training centers? It's a thought. Has anyone any ideas on that one? Can you think about this? Not only just agriculture, also allied activities and go with this. Next, please. What is crucial here is employability. Everything can come, but if you don't have this, the youth all know this, and they require an enabling hand-holding network rather than handouts. We saw that in the last election. The government did its best by handing out all kinds of goodies to people. They didn't have drawn into it. It was a very interesting thing when I was on tour. Facebook, there was an entry in the Facebook thing. I actually took it out and kept it. Somebody somewhere in their whole district had written, free electricity, free wheat, free cycles, free everything. All they don't give us is jobs. We don't want anything else. We just provide us jobs. Create an enabling situation. We would rather stand on our own feet. And I'm so proud of this person, whoever it was. some part of Rajasthan. I'm just so proud of it. There were people who were thinking and understanding that here was a government trying its damnedest to buy their vote. And they actually were not going to fall for it. And they were saying it on the Facebook. I thought that was fantastic. Welcome to you all. The fact that you pioneered